everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jackie and today I'm here to do my May 2020 wrap up. So May wasn't the greatest reading month. Comparing it to April where I read 11 books, May was kind of a meh reading month. And I think that's mostly because I went into the month not knowing what I wanted to read. So I was just kind of mood reading throughout the month, which is typically something that I try to avoid. But you know what? I actually enjoyed most of the books that I read this month, and even though I read 4 books in total, it's not that bad. So let me let's jump right in and get started. Before getting into this video, I do want to say a quick couple of words because I feel as a person with a platform, it is important to send this message to my viewers and to the booktube community in general. As many of you guys know, here in the US, last week we saw the murder of George Floyd happen in Minneapolis at the hands of police officers. He was unarmed, a black man, and unfortunately he was killed by police brutality. And I want to say that I am absolutely in full support of the protests that are going on over this poor man's death. Nobody should ever have to go through that. It's awful. I am disgusted, to say the least, of what happened, and all the protests and the petitions and the everything that the Black Lives Matter movement is doing right now. I am absolutely in full support of. I'm going to leave a bunch of links down below in the description box for you guys to check out if you are willing to sign petitions or donate some of your own money to support this cause, because I think it is very important. As a white creator myself and as an ally to the community, I would love to support the movement right now during this difficult time. Also, if you are a black booktuber or book blogger, please leave your links down below. I will be following you immediately to show my support. Your voices need to be heard. Jumping into my monthly stats, in the month of May, I read a total of 4 books. 3 of those were physical. I read no ebooks, and I listened to 1 audiobook. I read no review books or ARCs. I participated in 1 readathon, and I read a total of 1,251 pages. As far as genres read, I read 1 fantasy, 1 science fiction, 1 dystopian, and 1 nonfiction book. As far as star ratings, I had no books that I gave no rating, no 1 stars, no 2 stars, 2 3 stars, 2 4 stars, and no 5 stars. So now let's jump into the books that I read. The first book I finished in the month of May was Come Tumbling Down by Shauna McGuire. This is the 5th book in the Wayward Children series. This is a book I had started back in April and finished at the very beginning of May. This is a series I basically read the entirety of in April. I binge read the entire first 4 books and part of the 5th book, and now I'm officially all caught up. It is a YA fantasy series that follows children who have gone through magical doorways to worlds like Narnia and Wonderland, and we are following them after they have come back to the real world and the repercussions of that. It is a series I'm sure many of you guys have heard of. It is very, very popular on BookTube, and I really, really enjoyed this 5th installment. It's definitely up there with Down on Sticks and Bones as far as my favorite in the series so far. We are following my favorite character in the series, Jack, and it's just amazing. It's extremely diverse. There is a female-female romance at the center of the story. The main character is pansexual, and it's great, and all the side characters are also extremely diverse as far as the LGBTQ plus community. Love it. I gave this 4.5 stars. The month of May was The Giver by Lois Lowry. This is a book that I have been meaning to read for years. I actually read this for my children's literature class at college, and I had my expectations high, and I enjoyed the story for the most part. It is definitely a classic piece of dystopian literature, which is my favorite genre. So I had, again, very high expectations going into this, and I think I will continue on the series. This definitely wasn't my favorite book in the world. Well, it wasn't terrible by any means. It is, again, a YA dystopian following main character Jonas, who lives in a utopian world where everything revolves around color, and he gets a job as the messenger for somebody known as the Giver. And that's all I'm going to say. I think it is really great, required reading for school. I think it fit really well into my class, so I will recommend it, and I gave this 4 stars. In the month of May was Criers Roar by Nina Varela. I read this for Medieval-thon. This was unfortunately the only book I completed for that readathon, and this is another book I had very high expectations for, but was ultimately let down by. This is a YA science fiction. It follows our main character, Crier, who is a AI in this world. And she's kind of different than the other AIs in this world. She's a princess, and she has more human emotions than some of the other AIs do. And she meets a character named Ayla, who is on the opposing forces of Crier's people. And that's really all I'm going to say. I unfortunately didn't love this. I didn't hate it by any means, but I just had a very hard time getting into the story. I think that does stem from the fact that I don't read a ton of science fiction, but I wanted to explore the genre more. This is extremely diverse. There is a female-female romance at the center of the story, which was great. I really enjoyed the romance, but it is very, very character-driven. And if you guys don't know, I'm an extremely plot-driven person. I love plot over characters any day. So just wasn't for me, but I gave it 3 stars. The book I read in the month of May was one I actually started back in January, and that is Enchanted Hunters by Maria Tatar. This is a book that is analyzing different fairy tales in children's literature, like Little Red Riding Hood and Cinderella. And I don't, again, read a ton of nonfiction, and I did think this was really, really interesting, hearing different takes on the fairy tales I grew up knowing. So I enjoyed it for that fact. Other than that, I didn't get a ton out of it, but again, this was for a class, so we were only reading snippets of it at a time, but I did give it a 3 out of 5 stars. And that is it for today's video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if not already. I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Be sure to let me know in the comments down below if you read any of these books in the past or what you read in the month of May, as I would love to know. And as always, the links to all the resources you guys need to know about supporting Black Lives Matter movement during this difficult time will be linked down below, along with all my social media links. And I again encourage any Black creators out there to leave their links down below in the comments so I may check them out. And with all that being said, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you soon for another video. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye!